मे जनाधिपा
न चैव न भविष्यामः
न चैव न भविष्यामः
सर्वे वयमतः परम्
सर्वे वयमतः परम्
न त्वेवाहं जातु नासम्
न त्वेवाहं जातु नासम्
न त्वं नेमे जनाधिपाः
न त्वां नेमे जनाधिपाः
न चैव न भविष्यामः
न चैव न भविष्यामः
सर्वे वयमतः परम्.
सर्वे वयमतः परम्
So I'm reading the translation. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. Can somebody read the purport?
in the Vedas, in the Rasana Upanishad, as well as in the Shvara Upanishad. He said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the maintainer of innumerable living entities in terms of their different situations according to individual work and reaction of work. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is also is the ocean, alive in the heart of every living entity. Only saintly person who can see within and without the same Supreme Lord can actually attain to perfect and eternal peace. Nityo nityanam chetanam eko bahunam yo vidhati kamam tam atmastham ye nupashanti dhiraste samsanti satvati neta resham. The same Vedic truth given to Arjun is given to all the persons in the world who pose themselves as very learned but actually have but a poor fund of knowledge. The Lord says clearly that He Himself, Arjun, and all the kings who are assembled on the battlefield are eternally individual beings, and that the Lord is eternally the maintainer of the individual living entities, both in their conditions and in their liberated situation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is a supreme individual person, and Arjun, the Lord's eternal associate. And all the beings assembled there are individual eternal persons. It is known that they did not exist as individuals in the past, and it is known that they will not remain eternal persons. Their individuality existed in the past, and their individuality will continue in the future without interruption. Therefore, there is no cause for lamentation for any. The Mayavadi theory that after liberation, the individual soul separated by the covering of Maya or illusion will merge into the impersonal Brahman and lose its individual existence is not supported therein by Lord Krishna, the Supreme Authority. Nor is a theory that we only think of individuality in the conditioned state supported herein. Krishna clearly says herein that in the future also the individuality of the Lord and others, as it is confirmed in the Upanishads, will continue eternally. This statement of Krishna's is authoritative because Krishna cannot be subject to illusion. If individuality were not a fact, then Krishna would not have stressed its common, even for the future. The Mayavadi may argue that the individuality spoken by Sri Krishna is not spiritual but material. Even accepting the argument that the individuality is material, then how can one distinguish Krishna's individuality? Krishna affirms his individuality in the past and confirms his individuality in the future also. He has confirmed his individuality in many ways, and in personal Brahman has been declared to be subordinate to him. Krishna has maintained his spiritual individuality all along. If he is accepted as an ordinary conditioned soul in individual consciousness, then his Bhagavad Gita has no value as authoritative scripture. A common man with all the four defects of human society is unable to teach that which is above hearing. The Gita is above such literature. No nation book compares with the Bhagavad Gita when one accepts Krishna as an ordinary man. The Gita loses all importance. The Mayavadi argues that the spirituality mentioned in this verse is conventional and that it refers to the body. But previous to this verse, such a bodily conception is already condemned. After condemning this bodily conception of the living entities, how was it possible for Krishna to place a conventional proposition on the body again? Therefore, individuality is maintained on spiritual grounds and is thus confirmed by great acharyas like Sri Ramanujan and others. It is clearly mentioned in many places in the Gita that this spiritual individuality is understood by those who are devotees of Lord, those who are envious of Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, have no bona fide access to the great literature. The non-devotee's approach to the teachings of the Gita is something like that of a bee licking on a bottle of honey. One cannot have a taste of honey unless one opens the bottle. Similarly, the mysticism of the Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by the devotees. No one else can taste it, as it is stated in the fourth chapter of the book. Nor can the Gita be touched by persons who envy the very existence of Lord. Therefore, the Mayavadi explanation of the Gita is a most misleading presentation of the whole truth. Lord Chaitanya has forbidden us to read commentaries made by the Mayavadis and warns that one who takes to such an understanding of the Mayavadi philosophy loses all power to understand the real mystery of the Gita. If individuality refers to the empirical universe, then there is no need of teaching by the Lord. The plurality of the individual soul and of the Lord is an eternal fact, and it is confirmed by the Vedas as above mentioned.
ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवाश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्विता हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कंस राधा कंस नमोस्तुते रक्तकांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी कृष्णभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिये पञ्चाकृतरूपश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे Hare Krishna. So once again, I would like to welcome each one of you for today's session. And today I am sitting here in our Godrundum base, and we also have devotee from Baramati. They are sitting there, and we are sitting here. Both of us we are in base. So that is the purpose of starting these classes. I remember when we were in our VTA training. That times Gauram Prabhu used to come and he used to address us. So one time Gauram Prabhu has said that all the ISKCON followers should know Bhagavad Gita as if like their palm. है ना? ये हमारा हाथ होता है ना? We are very well know about what is there each and every corner of our hand. So similarly, we should know Bhagavad Gita thoroughly. That was his point. And therefore we have started this because being a follower of Srila Prabhupada, if we are not knowing about the Bhagavad Gita, then who will? And therefore, whole our ISKCON philosophy is based on these two books, basically. Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and CC, obviously. And Bhagavad Gita is the first level. And once Nandwar also told me, the Bhagavad Gita is a book, it's not by just by reading, you can't understand Bhagavad Gita. You have to study Bhagavad Gita. And there is a famous quote by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada used to tell his disciples because there were a book marathon during those days also. And Prabhupada once commented that my books are meant for studying also, not just for the distribution. So all the follower of Srila Prabhupada, they must study the books of Srila Prabhupada, and majorly our Bhagavad Gita as it is. Just like when we had prasadam, so in our plate there are many things. There is chapati, there is sabji, there is rice, there is dal, there is achar, there is a chutney, there is a little bit of salt. So what is the main course? The main course is chapati, sabji. Similarly, in our Krishna conscious philosophy, so there are so many people, so many books, so many authors, and today there are hundreds and thousands of books are available. All the lectures are available on YouTube. But still, these are like, this is not the main course for us. For us, the main course is Srila Prabhupada's books and majorly our Bhagavad Gita. So this was today we are discussing Natvevaham Jatunasam Natvamne me Janadipaha Nachaiva na Bhavishyamaha Sarve Vaya Mataha Varam. So Arjuna had given the reasons, 5 reasons for not fighting this war, Kurukshetra. And the first reason was compassion. Being a devotee of Krishna, being a dharmic person, naturally Arjuna was a very pious and dharmic person. And therefore, there was a lot of compassion in the heart of Arjuna. And when Arjuna is seeing all his relatives standing in front of him, ready to fight with him, he naturally felt compassionate. And therefore, that was his first reason. So, in order to counteract, Krishna is giving answer since 2.11 till 2.30. So, this is the second verse from that. And in the purport also, just like just now we go through the purport, and the Prabhupada is saying this verse is basically the refutation of Mayavadi philosophy. So what is Mayavadi? There are many terminology you may be hearing first time when we first started reading Bhagavad Gita, just like a Nishkam Karma Yoga. What is this Nishkam Karma? Previously, before coming to the ISKCON, we had never heard this kind of terminology. Nishkam Karma Yoga. What is this Mayavadi? So, if you have observed in the all the Prabhupada books, many times Srila Prabhupada often chastises the Mayavadi philosophy, isn't it? So when Prabhupada used to address his Western disciples, they used to think, I think this there must be some person called Mayavadi, and they must have offended Krishna. And therefore, every now and then, in his writing, Srila Prabhupada chastising Mayavadis. They are rascals. So why there was so much anger against Mayavadis? How? Our Naman Prabhu is saying they are offender of Krishna, but how? Can you please explain?
Yes, because they don't believe the personal form of Krishna. They only ready to get indulged in the Brahma Jyoti of Krishna, that light comes.
So our Naman Prabhu is saying they don't believe in the person Krishna. They believe that Lord doesn't have any form. So Mayavad has a different thought process. This is one of them. Lord doesn't have any form. But how this is so dangerous? So Prabhupada say because they believe that there is no person Krishna exists. If there is no person, then whom you serve? And the innate nature of a soul is to serve. Without serving, nobody can live. Prabhupada is to say, if you don't serve God, then you will serve dog. Inevitably, you have to serve somebody. So that is innate nature of every individual soul. But what is the problem of Mayavadi? They are saying God is there, but he doesn't have any form. It is just like saying I have form, but my father, he doesn't have any form. How is it possible? When form is not there, then what is the question of service? Whom you serve? if an individual personality has to be there in order to serve. But what is their problem? They are saying Lord doesn't have any form. So therefore, Prabhupada says that this Mayavadi tendency is killing the service tendency of every individual. When somebody is carrying the thought process of Mayavadi, basically he is thinking there is no God. Even if there is God, he doesn't have any form. When there is no form, you know what? There is no question of service. And our innate nature is to serve. And therefore, Prabhupada used to be very angry against this Mayavadi. So, can somebody tell me who was the leader of Mayavadi philosophy? Who had propagated this philosophy in the past? Any clue? Mayank Prabhu, Arshil Prabhu, would you like to say?
शंकराचार्य
मायावादी भाष्य का प्रचार किसने किया?
शंकराचार्य बोल राइट
आदि शंकराचार्य.
आदि शंकर
So he was none other than Lord Shiva himself. And there is a shloka. In that shloka, he is telling Mother Parvati, in the age of Kali Yuga, I will assume a form of a Brahmana. I will come, I will appear as a Brahmana, and I will propagate this philosophy of Mayavad. So all of you must have heard before also, when Lord Buddha appeared, there was a different purpose for appearing. Can somebody tell me what was the purpose of Lord Buddha's appearance in this world? Yes, Vaishru.
Stop. Because at that time people were taking the scriptures in a wrong way.
Yeah.
Doing animal killing.
Yes. So our Bhavesh Prabhu is saying at that time when Lord Buddha appeared, the situation was such the so-called learned Brahmanas, they are taking the advantage of Vedas and they are quoting the Shastras and saying, see here, the animal sacrifice is allowed. And on the name of animal sacrifice, they have started wholesale killing of animal. And to stop that killing, Lord Buddha appeared. And therefore, Lord Buddha says, the very Lord himself, the Vedas means the wordings of Lord Krishna. Veda comes from the breathing of Lord Krishna, Lord Narayana. But the same Krishna, same Narayana, when he appeared as a Buddha, is rejecting the Vedas. He's saying, I don't believe in the Vedas. Why? Because there was a certain purpose for saying that. Because these people, the so-called learned Brahmanas, they were quoting the Vedas and they are misusing the instruction. And therefore, Lord Buddha had to say, I don't believe in the Vedas. But what is the flip side of this? When Lord Buddha rejected the Vedas, the people are becoming Nastic. The Nastikvad means there is no God. So if there is no God, then the people are living the life just eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So what is the purpose of life then? The whole purpose of this human form of body is to again go back to our original home, going back to God. But if person is so atheist and he is not believing in the God only, then what is the hope for him? So there was a certain purpose when Lord Buddha appeared, he rejected the Vedas. But when Lord Shiva appeared as a Shankaracharya, there was a different purpose. Those people who had lost their faith in the Vedas, there was need now they should accept the Vedas. Therefore, for that period of time, to counteract Buddhism, Shankaracharya introduced Mayavada. And he is like showing the carrot to the donkey. And he propagated that, yes, you can also become a god. So this thought itself is very cherishable. Yes, I can also become God. Is it possible? It is not possible actually. But Shankaracharya proposed this kind of thoughts. Why? Because the people who had already rejected the Vedas, they should accept Vedas. Because then there is some hope. to their life. So to instill the lost faith, again in the Veda, he introduced Mayavadi Bhashya. But in CC, our Krishna Kaviraj Goswami says, Mayavadi Bhashya sunile, hoile sarvana. One should never heard, Lord Chaitanya is saying this, one should never ever heard the philosophy of Maya. So we are saying there are different incarnations, the different devotees of the Lord, they are coming in this world, but there is a different purpose. We can't say that Mayavad was wrong. That time it was needed. When Lord Buddha rejected Vedas, that time it was necessary. But after some period of time, the new philosophy has to be there. So then there was a Ramacharya. Then there was Madhvacharya. When Madhvacharya appeared, the purpose is, now previously people thinking Mayavad is so, people had accepted Mayavad and they are thinking we can also become a god one day. Today we are under illusion, but the point will come, we are free of illusion. Then we can also become a god. But Madhvacharya comes. And if you have seen the photo of Madhvacharya, his always is like this, and his two fingers are like this. Basically, he's saying Dvait. His philosophy is Dvaitvad, individual soul and the Supreme Lord. There are always difference. And in this verse, what Lord Krishna is saying, there was never a time in the past when these kings never exist, nor you, nor me. In future also, all of these things will exist. Because Arjuna's argument was, I will be the cause for their death. So Krishna is saying, today you are saying that you will be the cause. Say for example, even if you don't kill them today, are they going to live forever? No, they are not going to live forever. Because in this world, death is sure. Therefore, this world is called Mrityu Loka. So, individual soul and Paramatma, Atma and Paramatma, they are always different. There will never will be time that they will be merged together. This is another thought process of Mayavad. They thought after this life, when there is a liberation, all the souls they merge into the super soul. But this merging also is not supported by Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada gives a nice example. If suppose there is a forest, in the forest there are many trees, all the greenery is there, and there are many parrots also in the forest. If there is a big mango tree, or any tree you can take, and there is a green parrot, the parrot is flying and it sits on that particular branch, particular mango tree. So from distance, how it looks like? The moment that that parrot is landing and sitting on the branch of that mango tree, in one sense, is merged. You know? From the distance, you can't distinguish where is the parrot and where is the branch, where is the leaf. Everything looks similar only. But it is the truth. It may appear that while sitting, after sitting on the branch, the existence of parrot is no more. But the intelligent person knows that the parrot is still there. Isn't it? So similarly, even the Mayavadi is saying after the death, after the liberation, the individual soul merges into the body, but still that individuality, that existence, not gone. And therefore, in this verse, it's saying not only this, in future also. Past में भी थे, अभी भी है और आगे भी रहेंगे. So, in any sense, this merging and losing our existence, it is not supported. The Mayavadi says, they believe in the Brahman. There are three different realization: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. वदन्ति तत् तत्त्वविदस् तत्त्वं यज्ञानमव्ययं ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवान इति शब्दते. So there are three realization about Supreme Lord. And the Brahman realization is a preliminary. Then there is a Paramatma. The yogis, they realize Krishna as a Paramatma. And then a Bhagavan. Lord is a person. This is the highest realization about the Supreme Lord. And Prabhupada used to say, ki, yes, we all believe in a Krishna person. And Prabhupada used to say, when this Mayavadis, they are saying ki we will merge into the existence of the Lord. So Brahma, Mayavad, that Brahma Jyoti is nothing but the light which is emanating from the toe nail of Krishna. भगवान के पैर के जो नाखून है उससे जो प्रकाश निकलता है वो तो प्रकाश पुंज है, that is Brahma Jyoti. And these Mayavadis, they go there. It is just light. Everywhere, light, light and light. And Prabhupada used to say, okay, these Mayavadis, they go there, but innate nature of soul is to serve. So after going there, they don't have any opportunity to serve. वहां पे क्या सेवा है? There is no service there. So because of that reason, these people, they get frustrated. And they again came back to the earth. And therefore, Prabhupada used to say that those people who came back from Brahma Jyoti, after coming here, because the tendency of service is there and it is not fulfilled, they open many hospitals. They this tendency of service, they engage that tendency in philanthropic work. Therefore, they open big hospitals, and in that way, they try to engage that service tendency. So we are not saying it is wrong, but the ultimate reason, the tendency supposed to be engaged for the Supreme Lord. That is the highest and the perfected way of using that tendency. Tendency is there. And therefore, Prabhupada has given so many engagement in our Krishna conscious movement. If somebody is saying that I don't have any interest in book distribution, okay, here is another service. You cook for the deities. Somebody might say, I don't know how to cook. Okay, no problem. You can wash these vessels for the pleasure of Krishna. So there are so many engagement because our nature is to serve. And when the object of our service is Krishna, then there is perfection. And Jivera Swarupa Krishna Nitya. And a servant is only happy when he is in the service of the master. When Srila Prabhupada was giving class, and Prabhupada made a statement. Actually, servant enjoys more than the master. And disciples, they were asking, how it is Prabhupada? How can you please explain this? So Prabhupada was telling, see, I am an old man. If today you bring in front of me, suppose today is my birthday, and you bring a big cake in front of me, how much? How can I eat that? I may eat little bit, but who will enjoy the rest of the cake? The disciples. Servant. So in the same matter, uh, servant enjoys more than the master. But the problem is in this material world, the term service or servant, it doesn't have so good connotation. The moment person heard अरे सेवक, सेवक नहीं बनना है किसी का, हर किसी को बॉस बनना है, सेवक किसी को नहीं बनना. Because in this world, servants are treated very badly. But that is not the case in the spiritual world. When you are a servant of Krishna, that is the highest position. When in the Chaitanya Charitamrita there is an episode comes when Lord Chaitanya is in his South India tour and he met with Ramananda Rai. He asked Ramananda Rai. There was a very nice conversation between both of them. So what is the highest achievement? He is asking. to Ramananda, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking. So that time, the answer is given by Ramananda is very interesting. He is saying, being a devotee of Krishna, to be known as a servant of Krishna, is the highest achievement, highest glory, we can say, in this world. So we should never be thinking कि अरे भगवान कृष्ण के हम सेवक बनेंगे तो उसमें हमारा लॉस हो जाए. नहीं, भगवान के सेवक बनने से उससे ज्यादा कौन सा बड़ा गर्व गौरव इस दुनिया में है ही नहीं. So we should be very proud of that we are servant of Krishna. Rather than being serving the so-called master of this world, better to serve such a master who is always, we also have to serve in this world. But even if you serving somebody so nicely, with all your heart, with all your devotion, but there is a very much difference. Even if you made one mistake, how many mistakes? Even if you made one mistake, the so-called master of this world, they forget whatever good you have done in the past. Immediately, that is forgotten. And you are judged by that mistake, on the basis of that one mistake. But with Krishna, this is not the case. Even if you commit a mistake, Krishna never judged you basis on that one mistake. And therefore Krishna says in Bhagavad, Neha vikramana shosti pratyavayona vidyate svalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato vaya. Even if you give little bit, even if you perform little devotional service, that will remain with you forever. The credits of performing the devotional service will be there with you always. Not even this world, after this life also. So how much hopeful it is. Whatever time, whatever energy you are giving it devotional service, it is going to stay with you always. Just like you are individual in this purpose. Prabhupada is again stating this point. We are all individual. Not only in this material world, but after going away, going out of this material, that individuality will always be there. So all of us, there is a English, there is a term called dispensable, or undispensable. In the material sense, person thinks. I remember when I was working in Indian Railways, my boss, he used to say like this about himself. Suppose he is having some responsibility, and he used to say, अरे देखा कौन करता था इतना, आज मैं हूँ इसके लिए सब चल रहा है. I did this, I do that, I do like that, I do this planning, and because of this, everything is happening. You know that you want approval from all of us, and we boss is always right. So you say, yes. Whatever you are saying is right. The attitude is, अरे मैं हूँ इसलिए सर, I am indispensable basically. That was the attitude. You must have seen in your office also. People think in this way. Because I am here today, this company is going on. Because I am in this project is going on. But this is not the case. In material sense, we are not indispensable. Today we are here, tomorrow we may not here, we may be somewhere else, but still the things will go on. We should not be in this illusion that मैं हूँ इसलिए सब चल रहा है. No, things may not happen the way you want, but still things will go on. So we should not be in this illusion that I am indispensable. मेरे लिए कोई और दूसरा पर्याय है ही नहीं. No. But in spiritual sense, if you see, we all of us are indispensable. In spiritual sense, I am talking. In material sense, वी आर ऑल
Dispensable.
डिस्पेंसेबल, हमारा सबके लिए पर्याय है. बट इन स्पिरिचुअल सेंस वी आर इंडिविजुअल एंड वी आर यूनिक इंडिविजुअल्स. इसलिए one preacher was saying, because we are in this material world, Krishna is missing us. Krishna is there in spiritual world, but he is missing us. Why? Because the kind of a person, because you are individual, there is no duplicate copy of yourself. The same Bhavesh Prabhu who is here in this material today, Krishna is missing him. Because there is no other Bhavesh is there in spiritual world. The exact, we may say carbon copy, but there is nothing called carbon copy in spiritual world. Because we are individual. So Krishna, what Krishna is missing? There are hundreds and thousands of servants of Krishna. The spiritual world is said to be three-fourth creation. This material world is just one-fourth. Spiritual world is such a big, but still Krishna is missing Bhavesh Prabhu. Why? Because there is no carbon copy of Bhavesh Prabhu. So Krishna is missing because Krishna has relation with everybody. Krishna has that power of reciprocation, that he can reciprocate with unlimited people. We don't have that capacity. Therefore, Krishna is missing a particular individual. He is missing the kind of service Bhavish Prabhu is to give him. He is missing that. And therefore, our Acharya says, it is more than us. Krishna is eager to take us back home, back to God. अरे कब आएंगे वे भावेश प्रभु? हमारी जितनी इच्छा हो या ना हो, उससे ज्यादा भगवान की इच्छा है कि कब ये मयंक प्रभु जो इस भौतिक जगत में है, कब आएंगे वापस आध्यात्मिक जगत में? कब हमारे हर्षल प्रभु जो फैजों की सेवा कर रहे हैं, कब वापस आएंगे हरि की सेवा करने? So such a interesting, this is a very hope giving, because sometimes when we are going to a tough situation, there are problems in life, we may think, अरे भगवान को क्या पड़ी है, भगवान तो बस मजे कर रहे हैं अपने गोपों के साथ, स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में बस आनंद ही आनंद है. Yes, that is true, but at the same time, Krishna is also missing us. So therefore, it is very hope giving that it is not that भगवान को कुछ पड़ी नहीं हमारे लिए. And therefore we say every now and then, time and again, Krishna is sending his pure devotees in this material world. Not only Krishna himself also comes. One devotee was telling, Prabhupada one time made this statement. Prabhupada says, I was not ready to come here. I was not ready to come here. Because this material world means basically forgetfulness of Krishna. Who would like to come here? But Prabhupada says, Krishna told me to go. You go. So this is the case. Because if you see the consciousness point of view, this material world is not so considered as good. One time Prabhupada made a statement, this world is not a place for a gentleman. Isn't it? एक सभ्य व्यक्ति के लिए ये जगह नहीं है. Just today only I was coming, when I left temple, I was coming through a taxi. So at 5:10 was timing, when driver and myself only. So when we were crossing the road, I don't know what happened to the driver and the fellow bike wala person. He was just crossing by, and he must have crossed it wrongly or rightly. So he was constantly blowing the horn. And what is the time? 5:10 in the morning. So this driver of taxi, he became so angry, so angry. They were about to fight. They were ready to stop their vehicle. And one person said, "तू बाहर निकल, दिखाता हूँ तुझे." So this, and what was the question? He was arguing, why you are blowing the horn so much? This was the argument. इतना देर से भोंगा क्यों बजा रहा है? That's all. So people are ready to fight with small things. So, and I was requesting, अरे बाबा चल इतने सुबह सुबह क्या पड़ी तू चल यहाँ से निकल. So like that. So this world is not a place for a gentleman. Prabhupada still. So this verse, what we can understand, we should never think that after merging, our existence is finished. No. In the past also, we were there existing as individual soul. Today also, we are individuals, and in the future also, the individuality will be always there. And we should never ever think the way Mayavadi thinks. The day will come and we can merge into the existence of God. No. And why Mayavadi tendency is wrong? Because it kills the propensity to serve. Therefore, Prabhupada was so much heavy about this Mayavadi philosophy. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya also says, Mayavadi Bhashya Sunile, Hoy Sarvanash. As a devotee of Krishna, we should never ever think in that line, in that process. And Prabhupada says, Mayavad is a by default setting. In India also, by default. If somebody is not a devotee, today also, people have this kind of thought process. Because the past, Shankaracharya has preached such a vigorous Mayavad philosophy. So there are people, there is something called Brahmavadi and Mayavadi. What is the Brahmavadi? They also believe that Krishna has form. So example given Bhagavad is the four Kumaras. They were Brahmavadis. It is not that they don't know Krishna doesn't have any form. Yes, they knows, but still they are get attracted to the effulgent, Brahman effulgent. But they don't deny that Krishna doesn't have any form. And that incident comes when they are approaching Vaikunta and they're passing one door. And that's the seventh door. They were stopped by Jai Vijay. And that time they also smell the aroma of Tulsi, which is coming from the lotus feet of Narayana. And just by smelling that aroma, their conception of Brahmavadi, that changes. And they are thinking it is better to serve the person form. What is the use of serving that Brahmajyoti? Previously they were attracted to Brahmajyoti. But after this incident, and by seeing the dealing of the Lord comes there running and he is saying, actually I am responsible. These two people, they are my servant, and whatever mistake done by servant, ultimately the master is responsible. And he is taking that mistake of Jai Vijay on his own. And he's saying, if he is giving the example, if there is a person is suffering from leprosy or some kind of disease, and sometimes the if hand is giving so much trouble, the hand is cut off. Similarly, these are my servant, but because they have behaved differently, I am ready to discard. And then whole story is there. You know how they came as a three incarnations. Hmm? Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Sharnaksha, Hiranyakashipu, and then Shishupala and Dantavakra. Hmm? But by that incident, seeing the dealings of the Lord, it is said Lord is coming running there on the spot. मतलब जैसे कोई झगड़ा होता है ना, तो there is natural tendency people started coming there. तो लॉर्ड अंडरस्टूड कि अभी जय विजय और फोर कुमारास में तो बात बढ़ ना जाए. He is running on the spot with Lakshmi ji with barefoot, and he is saying, "I am responsible." So by seeing the behavior of the Lord, they say it is better to serve this personality. What is the point of serving that Brahma? So this is also point. So Krishna is a person. Just like if we have a certain liking, Krishna also has certain liking. Many people ask question, why Krishna likes cow only? Why not something else? Why Krishna plays flute only? Why not something else? Are Baba, you have certain likings, isn't it? Similarly, Krishna has certain liking. अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं आपको कौन सा रंग पसंद है, प्रभु बोल रहे मुझे ग्रीन कलर पसंद है, वैसे कृष्णा को पीला कलर पसंद है, therefore he wears पीतांबर. What is wrong in that? Because he is a person. Just like we are a person, we also have likings and interests. Similarly, Krishna also has his own liking. Likes cow तो like तो इसके लिए क्या एक्सप्लेनेशन दे सकते हैं? अभी आपसे पूछना आपको नीला रंग क्यों अच्छा लगता है, थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करो. अब इसके लिए क्या एक्सप्लेनेशन देंगे? हमें लगता है अच्छा. वैसे ये भी कृष्ण को काऊ अच्छा लगता है तो लगता है. Why not dog? That is not one. For Krishna, Krishna is saying, Baba, aham bija pradapita. Everything comes from me only. All are my children. तो dog भी उसमें आता है. But still, when we are talking about a person, Krishna, as a person, he has liking. Just like you have liking, Krishna has liking. So there is no explanation why Krishna likes cow only. He likes. Okay? So in this way, we should be never thinking that Mayavadi Bhasha is right. No. We should never ever heard about Mayavadi. There are so many sages. It appears they are devotee of Krishna, but still, when they start speaking, there's a tinge of Mayavad. Prabhupada and Prabhupada is heavy for this reason. Because Mayavad tendency kills the service attitude of an individual soul. And without service attitude, without serving, all of us, we can't be happy. Not even in this world, not in that world. Because serving is innate nature of every individual. Okay? So I will stop here. If anybody has any question, you can ask. तो जब तक हम भगवान की सेवा करेंगे, वैष्णव की सेवा करेंगे, तभी हमें वो जो आनंद है, जो असली आनंद जिसके पीछे हम हमेशा भागते हैं, हमेशा उसकी अपेक्षा करते हैं, वो मिलेगा. संतुष्टि होती है ना, संतुष्टि, वो कब मिलेगी? जब वो भगवान की सेवा में एंगेज रहेंगे अपने आप को. और ये सब अपॉर्चुनिटीज आर अवेलेबल टू ऑल ऑफ यू. जस्ट बाय स्टेइंग इन द बेस, प्लीज बिलीव मी, you have all these opportunities. You have opportunity to do offering seva, you have opportunity to do Vaishnava seva, you have opportunity to do Diti seva. Everything, many things are available just by staying in the base. There are people, although they have desire to serve, there is no facility to serve. People are staying in such a remote corner of the world, they are even not seeing the face of other devotees. There are places in this world. Indrabhanu Maharaj write in his traveling diaries, because he goes to so much far places for preaching purpose, Africa and Kenya, what all places, that Amazon forest. There are devotees, but there is no association of devotees. And today we are surrounded by so many devotees. Sometimes thought comes in our mind, Arey, why so many devotees? But believe me, this is a great bond. We are in such a place that we have association of devotees. So many devotees. Right, left, back, forth, everywhere there is a devotees. So it is very, very great bond. You will realize the precious association, the value of this association when you don't have this. The time will come when you all remember this. Yeah, there was a time in my life also when I was staying in base. There were 10 devotees, 9 devotees, and we used to take prasadam together. We used to sing Mangalarati together. We used to sing Vaishnav song together. So please take benefit all this opportunity, this facility. It will be for your benefit only. Okay? So I will stop here. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So kindly go through the purport, whatever we discussed. You can also go through the purport And please recite the verses. Whatever we are discussing, please recite these verses. Okay? Hare Krishna.